Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. Last week we walked through the gardens and admired all the daffodils that were in bloom, but it has warmed up and there is so many new things that have started blooming. So I thought today we would just kind of take a peek at the new things that are in bloom, and then we are going to gather some fresh flowers out of the garden and we're going to create a beautiful spring bouquet together. So make yourself something cozy to drink, and I'm just going to walk you through the garden, and then together we are just going to create a beautiful spring bouquet. Last week we ended the video out here in the new garden, so I thought it would be fitting to just start it out here again because there is some very pretty things that have started blooming, like this daffodil, which is called Petite Four daffodil. It is so unique. The sun is kind of shining harshly, so I hope it looks okay in the camera. Over here is the very same daffodil. I mean, how pretty. The tulips out here haven't started blooming yet, but this is an apricot pride tulip. They are one of my favorite tulips. Now, I can't remember the name of this daffodil, but it's just the sweetest little flower, and it smells so good when it's added into bouquets. Over here on this side, there's just a repeat of the same daffodils. And oh my goodness, look at this. The creeping phlox have started blooming. I think I have 6 patches around the garden. And I recently added in this little evergreen on each side. There's one over here as well to add in winter interest. But oh, I can't wait to get in here this summer and just fill it out with plants. Out here on each side of the driveway, we have this little corner garden, and look at the weeping cherries. I mean, aren't they just gorgeous right now? Try to bring you in closer. Like I said, the sunlight is kind of harsh, but they look so pretty. And then it's underplanted with the Kedron daffodils, and then after those are done blooming, the Sherwints and Churchill daffodils will start blooming in here. There's some tulips back there and some more daffodils around the mailbox. Up here in front of the garage, the white creeping phlox is looking so pretty. And the sand cherry shrub, look at this. Do you see those pink flowers? Within, I am guessing probably by early next week, the Sherwints and Churchill daffodils will be blooming and the sand cherry shrub will be blooming. It'll look so pretty together. We are on the north side of the house, which means there's a little bit more shade back here. The red bud is looking so pretty, and that is where we are going to be putting together our flower display under the red bud tree. But look at the rhododendron. It has started blooming. Usually the bumblebees love being on this flower. And then if we swing over, the white lion daffodils have started blooming. I mean, how pretty. The candy tuft has burst into bloom as well. And this daffodil is the same one that I have out in the front garden. Still not sure what the name is. But if we swing over, the muscari is blooming under the bird bath. Maxine's ball is in there. And then you can see the rhododendron from here. Out here in the cut flower garden, there is so many tulips that have started blooming. This is the apricot pride tulip that I have out in the front garden. I love that soft blush color that it has. And then it's backed up by the replete daffodils. And do you remember last week when we saw the muscari under this shrub? These are like miniature fritillary. You see them? Those have started blooming around here as well, looking so sweet. And there's just a repeat of the apricot pride tulips over here under the crabapple that is getting ready to burst into bloom. We have pink champagne daffodils, and there is a daffodil in here. Not sure how it got in there, but it's yellow. I don't know. I might have to move that daffodil. And then we swing back over here. There's some more of the Kedron daffodils backed up by the apricot pride tulips. And over here on this side, this is all the tulips that we are using for cut flower arrangements. And you can see that a lot of them have been bursting into bloom. I have also harvested a lot already. And you will just kind of see a repeat of the apricot pride tulips in here, as well as this blue muscari that has just started blooming. Oh, I love that soft color. And all the daffodils that we saw last week, those are still looking very pretty. Very excited about that. I have removed the Russian sage that has been in here for quite a few years on each side of the trellis. I moved them out into in front of the house. I'm hoping it'll look better out there because it was just getting so overgrown in here. But you can see all of the daffodils, or I should say the tulips that have started blooming. And there's also just so many more daffodils. Some violas that planted themselves in my garden. They're sweet, but they are also an aggressive spreader. On this side of the garden, there is just a continuous repeat of the replete daffodils, the topsy-turvy blend, as well as the apricot pride tulips on each side of this lilac that will be bursting into bloom real soon. Doesn't that look so sweet? Oh, I can't wait for the lilacs to be blooming. And over here, there's a white lilac that will hopefully give us blooms this year. Last year it didn't bloom. I see little buds on there. And we have finally decided on a design plan for the raised bed garden and how we want to finish out the cut flower garden. Oh, I can't wait to share the whole thing with all of you because it's going to be very pretty. It'll probably take, over the process of a year to have it finished, but it's going to be so pretty. This little serviceberry has struggled. I planted in here 2 years ago, I think, but every year the rabbits, you see where they chewed it, and then a new branch needs to try and pop out every time. But it's blooming and it's looking so sweet. There is some daffodils in bloom in here. Stripey is trying to chime in. And the muscari is looking so pretty and sweet. Oh, I love it. Some more daffodils blooming and one tulip back there. Also, look at this. The pansies have started blooming on the gate as well as in this container. We had all the blooms had frozen off, but they're looking so sweet again. And as we head back down this garden path, look at all the muscari that is blooming back here, and the apricot pride tulips on each side of the bench. Over here, I was hoping these tulips or daffodils would be blooming by today, but they're not. Probably by this weekend. This is the gay kaibo daffodils. You can see they're almost getting ready to burst into bloom, but it's going to be a very pretty show in here once they start blooming. Art design daffodils are still blooming and looking so pretty. The apricot pride tulips. Oh, this is such a fun time of year. And the tree peony. Do you see the buds on there? How exciting is that? Oh, it's looking so pretty out here. And another one of Maxine's balls. All right, let's cut some flowers and make a pretty spring arrangement together. All right, we have gathered all our flowers. Now, if I would be creating a bouquet for someone else, I would make sure that the tulips are more closed like this, and the daffodils would be more closed like this, because this, see that, it's kind of like a gooseneck. But at this stage, the flowers will last for at least 7 days in a vase. But since they're just for the table inside, I'm not going to be worrying about any of that. I picked up this adorable, I guess it's a vintage planter at the thrift store earlier this spring, and I was thinking of spring flowers when I got this. So this is going to be our vase for today, and I'm just going to place some chicken wire in the bottom to kind of hopefully hold everything together. Just looks like that. And then we're going to put some water in here. We're going to start with the tulips first, since that is our focal flower. I love tulips, like the foliage that they have. They already bring interest to a bouquet with their foliage. And always leave your stems longer than you think you might possibly need them, because you can always cut more off, but you cannot add more stem to it. I also try to make sure that there's no leaves that are actually in the water, because it can introduce bacteria to your vase, and therefore shorten the life of your flowers. All right, we're just going to continue adding all the tulips, and then we'll add in the other flowers. I want this to be on our kitchen island, so I want it to be looking good from every direction. Something to keep in mind with tulips, they do continue growing in a vase. Even after they've been cut, they will continue growing. Oh, that's starting to look so pretty. This one has a hanging head. Now, I would never add this into a customer bouquet, but just for myself, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a whimsical fairy skirt. I think next we are going to go in with some daffodils. Oh, I am loving how this is turning out. It just reminds me of a spring meadow. Okay, next we are going to add in some finishing touches with branches from the redbud and from the weeping cherry tree. Oh my goodness. Isn't it so pretty and fun? It just looks like spring and a spring meadow. Oh, what do you guys think? What about we take it inside and maybe we can see it a little better where the lighting isn't quite as harsh. I think we can now see the details just a little bit better without the harsh light from the sun. But oh, I love how this turned out, especially with the little pops of green from the weeping cherry tree. Oh, it's looking so springy. And this is what it looks like from the other side. It's pretty much just the same thing. Next week, I am going to take all of you along to a local garden center, because this garden center has the prettiest flowers, and then they have this whole section that is just filled with every herb imaginable. So I thought we could get some herbs and then maybe finish planting up the herb garden together. So that is what the plans are for next week. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.